All right, traders, welcome back. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend and Happy New Year. So, Bitcoin held the $92,000 region. We had a nice bounce off that level, putting in a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame. Yeah, just holding the range, man. Just holding the range very nicely here. You can see we broke this trend line. We came basically right up to it, and I would say we rejected it and just retested the bottom of this range. So it's very, very clear what's going on here. We had a range deviation to about 108. That was new all-time highs. But to me, this looks like... I mean, I don't even know if you can draw it as a channel, to be honest with you. But it's more like, all right, we break 92. We're looking at, 86,000 and even down lower if that happens. But we can see now the daily moving averages are ticking up to the $82,000 region now, the weekly. Also trending upwards with the price action continuing to trade higher than that. So the moving averages will continue to move up. Hopefully you guys can hear me, right? All right, cool. So yeah, nice candle put in last week for sure. A new yearly candle opened. Bullish engulfing candle on the yearly. Our white candles coming in. We don't have a pi cycle high in, so we will let you guys know when the top is in. That would be right around when that comes in. All right, so we're not topped out just yet. In fact, I think we've got a pretty big alt season still ahead of us here. And so what's going to happen this week? Well, let's see if we get follow through off this bullish engulfing candle, right? Because we were all worried about a breakdown here, which I would say we almost got. We didn't break 92K. Well, we did very briefly, but not on a major time scale. Breakdown, right? It was like a slight range deviation and they popped it right back in. And I would say our next target to look for here is 100K. We're pretty close to that right now. And if we break 100K, we're probably going to test 106 to 108. And if we break that, we're looking at new all-time highs. My target up there is around 120 to 130, that region up there. And if we end up breaking down, well, you guys know the breakdown targets. We lose 92K, we're looking at 87, 85 or whatever. And then if we end up losing that, we end up losing that major support level up there. And we come down to test major moving averages. That's really it on Bitcoin. There's not really too much else to talk about aside from that. The weekly momentum is starting to tick down here. Not confirmed selling on the weekly just yet. We would need the slow line to also confirm below the 80 for the weekly sell signal. The 2-week time frame also starting to lose momentum. You can clearly see that. We got a cross down, again, no confirmation. A 3-week still ticked up. The monthly also still ticked up in this range up here. Our 2-month up here, you can see we're getting up there, guys, on momentum, all right? The quarterly. The quarterly's got some room to run, which kind of, leads us to believe we're going to see higher prices for Bitcoin here in the next coming months. But if we end up breaking this on the quarterly, we could go into this way overbought territory, which will probably bring us into our top. Okay. And so that's something that we're closely monitoring. Every single time that the quarterly chart actually topped out, I think that those were all cycle tops on Bitcoin. So let's take a look at that actually. Right. So it's pretty perfect. Right. This was, I mean, it's not exact, but it's pretty close. You know, you would have actually missed the top if you sold here at 47K. But you guys get the idea. That's going to give you some really good inclination to know when the tops are in. The 3-month time frame is too long of a time frame to really look at that. I'd be looking at like weekly charts probably. Okay. And yeah, so you know, last cycle's top was the weekly bearish divergence. The March top was also the weekly bearish divergence. So we haven't made the bearish divergence yet. We're waiting for to see if this ticks back up and we make a new all-time high. We'll make weekly bearish divergence, and that could probably be when we top out or close to maybe being topped out. All right, it's tough to call the exact top, guys, but you know, if we get that bearish divergence, this could take weeks, by the way, or months to do that. So, but when we do that, understand no one's going to be calling for a top. Everyone's going to think that we're just going to blow through the next level and just keep running. And so that's what we're kind of looking for, right? We're kind of looking for that on the actual top of the market. So March, you could see that we made that top, bearish divergence, dump it. You know, we bottomed out in September, and we then ticked up, right? So I would say all looks fine on the chart. Even when I thought we were going to get this breakdown, that would have actually been really healthy to see if we did get that breakdown, the full-on breakdown, but it's fine. We ended up holding the bottom of the range very nicely. 92K was pretty much held, and we just popped back up, okay? Ethereum, you know, much of the same. I would say the Ethereum chart looks pretty good. I was never really bearish on this action aside from a couple weeks ago when we printed this candle here. Long tail wick like that, but no top tail. So to me, that was just bids coming in, but not enough bids to really reverse the price action here. Then we got the sell-off, right? And so we're really close to breaking out on ETH. We want to really be paying attention to the TVL, and we'll take a look at that right now. So the TVL on ETH, we're going to see, we can start to see that it bottomed out here. It's starting to maybe tick up. All right. So once we get close to this high we put in December, we're going to see, you know, Ethereum, you know, tick up in price. Okay. Couple TVLs to note is Solana is about to break out. Sui TVL broke out, which we saw Sui go nuts. Base TVL is looking like it put in a bottom and it's based out. So that looks pretty good. Aptos TVL is also starting to tick back up. So this is all the stuff that's really important to look at. So you know the overall trend of the asset, and you know assets that are going to maybe do some things. Well, you know what? Let's look at the HBAR TVL. That's good. I don't even know if we can look at HBAR TVL. What's HBAR Suite? Is that one of the apps on HBAR? I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the DEX. Okay, so this is the HBAR DEX. So yeah, that's consolidating. That looks like it might tick up. This is it's got $8.5 million of TVL in there. Not really a big asset for HBAR currently. HBAR just looks like it's sitting up here in this range. It's still making lower highs, but it's holding its lows. So not really too much to talk about there either. Needs to pick a direction, which way it's going to go. And yeah, your weekly momentum is kind of just flatlined up here, which is fine. 2 week and 3 week also in the way overbought territory. Monthly looks fine. Not really too much else to talk about on H-bar. Your 2 week candle, bullish engulfing, just didn't take out these wicks. I would say that it's probably just going to range up here. Daily look or 2 day looks fine. This looks like it reset its momentum on the 2 day. Yeah, it looks good. Looks like it's just consolidating up here. No real follow through on this wedge break either. Just tagged 33, pulled back, made a higher low, made a lower high, making a higher low. Okay, so ping pong right now. That's it. When you break 38 cents, we'll talk. Until then, it's just range bound between 23 and 38 cents, a 50% range. XRP. Much of the same for XRP, also just consolidating here. Looks like a nice bull flag forming on the 4 hour. Nice 4 hour reset, 4 hour squeeze initiating here potentially. Your daily MACD crossing bullish for the first time since your cross back up here in November. So that's notable. That is probably setting up for a move. We can look at, it's just going to be following whatever Bitcoin's doing. Yep, put a nice base in down here at $2. We were looking at that 180 level, right, as a retest. Yeah, that looks good. Just holding the base there. You might consolidate here for a bit before attempting another rally to $3. Not much else to talk about on this one either. I think just, sideways a bit would make some sense after that push. You can see the volume kind of, ticking down here. I would still say you're on the floor, man. Like, just look, zoom out on the chart. There's going to be volatility with this stock. They do own Bitcoin. Remember that. They own about, I want to say 1,000 Bitcoin or something they own. So this asset owns Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin appreciates, so will their stock. So inherently, if you don't have Bitcoin exposure, you own assets that do. And here you go. This is an asset that does own Bitcoin. This was a nice falling wedge breakout. A retest, usually after a breakout, is normal and common. Cool. That's your CAN stock. Chainlink, take a look at it. Chainlink, nice retest, a nice bounce there. I'd like to see like one more low come in for like a double bottom or something for this to eventually, go higher. I think this is going to move with ETH when ETH starts to move, or it may actually front run ETH because it's a lower cap. But yeah, I don't see anything really wrong with this chart. It looks good. You're opening a nice weekly candle here. You tagged a Fibonacci level and you ping pong back to the fib below it. So you're just ranging between, $20 and $27. That's it. When the market picks a direction, you'll know which direction it's going to go. But the direction is probably going to be to the upside with the rest of the market eventually. Just watch your weekly momentum, though, right? So we could come back down for another retest or go sideways a bit. This isn't really reset to the upside right now on the weekly time frame. All right. Your monthly looks great. All right. So like a couple weeks probably of consolidating for Chainlink here. We spoke about ETH already. You can just go back in the stream. You're waiting for a TVL break on ETH, man. INJ looking pretty good. You can see the weekly almost resetting here, unlike some of these other assets. I think INJ is set up for higher prices right now after this break and retest. Looks very nice. Another one to really pay attention to here is Hyperliquid. Okay. This didn't break just yet, but pay attention to their TVL. This thing went on a major run and just pulled back pretty nicely. I mean, could see another pullback on it, sure. But I think this is going to be a major player. What's going on, Angel? How you doing, brother? So like I mentioned before, I think Solana is next to break out. AVAX also looking okay on the 4-hour here, coming back out of the bottom of its range. You know what? Let's take a look at Avalanche's TVL. That thing's been wrecked this whole cycle, man. Yeah, you can see it's just very bottomed out down here. If this ticks up and starts to go, then you're going to see Avalanche really explode, and I think that eventually will happen once capital inflows come into the Avalanche blockchain. But I think all these major ones are going to run first. Like Solana's probably going to run. Sui's going to continue to run. They're just getting the TVL. And so once they rotate, I think, AVAX will get some of that love. But for now, it's tough to really say that AVAX TVL is breaking out because it's not. But I think it will. I think it'll do well during the midst of this alt season. So these next few months, I think AVAX can do some numbers for sure. It looks good right now. This 4 hours ticked up. I think this is going to push. So yeah. What else we got? Solar Beam. Yeah. STX block stacks. So this is a Bitcoin layer 2, right? I think this asset is a good asset. It's been a good performing asset this cycle. It's kind of lost its steam a bit, though. If you look at the chart, you can see that we made this top and we just made a lower high. You got this floor right here, but yeah, last week's candle was good on it. I mean, I think there's better assets you can own right now, right this moment. But I mean, as long as the bottom of this range holds this 140 level, it's probably going to start to try to tick up. The monthly time frame is not really looking the best, man. I mean, you need a monthly MACD cross. That's not good. That's not good. I don't really like that. It may not see the follow through, but you don't have momentum on your side. It's like, difficult to really want to own something like this with a million other assets to own in the ecosystem here. And I think you're good. I think you're good until you lose this low. Still waiting for ETH to outperform Bitcoin. Yeah, we're all waiting for that because that's really the start of when everything starts to really go. Still sitting on the floor down here, man, and you definitely looks like you put in a base. All right, low, same low. Just need to see some follow through on that. I think that that's coming shortly, man. I really think that's coming shortly. The squeeze is there on the weekly too. I mean, you can see the squeeze. It's there. It's definitely there. And your monthly stochastics are still in the gutter down here at the bottom. It's still extremely low risk to be rolling Bitcoin for ETH here if you're, if you want to be hedged properly, and if you're just playing the top two cryptos, like that's what you should be doing. Not financial advice, of course, but yeah, that's exactly, if Bitcoin just starts ripping out of here and ETH blows ETH out, I mean, the worst case scenario, I mean, this would be a bad scenario, but this thing could come down another 40%. Could. I would say that's, I wouldn't say it can't happen, but I would say it's a low probability down here that does happen. Especially with your 3-month here about to cross back up. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I think we're getting close to a point where this is going to start to go. So we'll see very soon how this goes. Next couple weeks here. All right, Solar Beam. Solar Beam just follows Moon River. We can take a look at it. Let's see, Solar Beam. Solar Beam and Solar Beam. 83K in liquidity. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, just sitting at the bottom, man. Just sitting at the bottom. RSI flatlined here. Weekly RSI not looking the best. Yeah, I'm not really too sure how this one's going to end up doing. It's obviously an underperforming asset. At this point, you had an attempted breakout here and basically failed and gave it all back, came all the way back down to the range low. It's not really doing any trading volume, $94. Yeah, sucks. Unfortunately, this one's probably going to continue to suck until Moon River really kicks into gear. Let's go look at Moon River for a second. So Mover broke the downtrend here, but hasn't really been able to produce anything that really bullish, I would say. Doesn't look that good. Doesn't look like it wants to make a major move. It could. I mean, this looks like maybe a inverse head and shoulders pattern potentially. If it catches bids, got to catch bids. We'll see how that does. It may end up doing something that nobody expects. Moon River. That would be nuts if it did that. I don't think it's going to do that. But this was certainly a wedge break. This also broke its wedge. And like I said, it just looks like maybe consolidating here. Doesn't look that bad. Yeah. Let's take a look at some stocks, man. Oh, Flow. Yeah, Flow looks good actually. I think this is just a slow mover, and it's just waiting for Ethereum to kind of make a move. You could see it's just holding its ranges down here. CRSP, what's that? Just holding the floor, man. We made an attempted rally here, failed, came back down, held the floor. I think Flow is more of like a slow, longer term mover in this cycle. It's its own NFT blockchain. Um, I mean, it's just still really low risk down here. It may not be like the best performing asset right now, but I think this will get its day. And yeah, Rivian made the move, right? Yes, right. That's right. We talked about it last week, right? Yep. There's a lot of good stocks to look at right now. Yeah, but I think longer term, this looks fine. We might even get one more retest or something on this before it really goes. It's just down here at the bottom, man. Like it's a major L1. It's a major chain. Even at 80 cents, this is an 800 or $1.2 billion chain. So it's not just some shit coin. It's a big chain. It's not really getting any action right now though. So hopefully it picks up. Okay. CRSP. CRISPR Therapeutics. Okay. I mean, you're sitting on the support, man. So you could take an entry here and set a stop below the wicks. So how's your 2 and 3 day looking? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you could take an entry here, man. You're at the range low. So you're at the lowest risk area possible on the ranges here to take a trade. So yeah, you take an entry here, set a stop loss just below, and let her rip, dude. Maybe she goes back up to $60 or maybe to the top of the range. It looks like it's been kind of range bound here since February. Your lows were put in here in October of 23, and you went from 39 to 87. If you want to trade the range, go for it. I don't really see any major structure or pattern on this thing. Let's see what else. Genome. I don't know what that is, but let's take a look at it. What's the ticker on Genome, dude? Or is that a crypto? The crypto looks okay. I mean, it looks like it's going into price discovery if this is the one you're talking about. So I had a couple low cap ones that maybe you guys should look at. I really liked this Wrecker stock, 171 million market cap. Looks like a descending broadening wedge formation on the monthly time frame. Not only that, it looks like a monthly double bottom. So this didn't break just yet, or it's about to break. And that's a major move coming. Big squeeze, monthly bullish divergence, MACD at the bottom there with a nice swing up. Looks like it got some crazy volume the other day on an attempted breakout. Something to pay attention to. The target would be the top of the structure, which is $24. All right. So yeah, that could be a big move for this asset. And this one's definitely on my watch list. Another one that I'm really paying attention to is CXAI. This is an AI stock. You can see down here at the bottom of the range again. Putting in a nice break candle here on the monthly. Okay. So to me, this also looks really nice. 1, 2 higher lows, right? You can see the accumulation on the asset, and you got earnings coming up here in February. I think that this stock is going to do pretty well as a penny stock, but $37 million market cap. I mean, this is like trading an altcoin, but got a nice edge here. Look at the weekly break. That's a breakout on the weekly time frame. Your average sentiment oscillator indicator is just crossing up. You got a nice weekly cross up there. your 2-week and 3-week momentum is just building, I think that this is going to make a major move. Okay. Add this one to your watch list, or maybe take a position. I think you could still take a position on this, especially after a weekly candle break like that. Do your own research on this company. I have no idea what it does. Just has AI in its name. No clue. Just the chart looks good to me. And the price action. You can see the price action pretty good. You guys know I took this bingo trade down here. Again, I don't know if this is the floor, but man, this looks like the floor. It looks like a falling wedge setup. Didn't really risk a lot on something like this. It's a very, very high risk play. So I don't use a lot of capital for these types of trades. But to me, this looks like a really good area to take some risk. So we took a trade. I think this could swing up eventually to like 250. You got these levels in between here, the 50 to 80 cent regions, but it's just straight down price action. If this thing is going to catch bids, you can see the volume that came in, a couple days ago or last week or something. This could really just blow up. So took a trade on it, see how it goes. And our stop is like 25 cents, 24 cents on this. We could end up doing something like this where we get a break and it makes a significant move up to like 80, and we pull back and maybe make a higher low, double bottom. And at that point right there, then you can confidently take more risk, knowing that this is the actual low, this is the actual bottom of the asset to reverse its major trend, right? And so that's kind of why I didn't take a lot of risk here, because I don't really have that knowledge or that information just yet about what the asset's doing. Kind of like something like this where it makes this like downtrend and then it breaks up and then it comes back down, makes a higher low, and then just goes on this crazy run up. So that's kind of what we're looking for on this. All right. Wrecker already kind of gave you that implication, right? You had a big move, you hit a top, you hit a resistance, it pulled all the way back down, and you just made the double bottom, right? So you could very much so strategize that this is actually the bottom for this asset and to long-term trade this. This is probably something I'm going to long-term trade. And fuel cell is the same type of setup, which is also why we're in fuel cell with some risk. Okay. And same type of thing. The double bottoms, I think, are very reliable types of structures. And even if they're in wedge patterns, like this one's kind of in a like a channel or a wedge, or I would say it's more of a channel, but towards the bottom of the channel. So like, this is where you would want to take the risk, right? At the floor area. And the squeeze on it is just really prevalent. This is a monthly time frame. Okay. So yeah, if this squeeze breaks on the weekly time frame, I think that this is going to be fireworks for this asset. And there's probably going to be some news or whatever BS they want to throw to justify the price action, but we can see it. We can see what's going on here. They candled it right here on Friday, right off the range low, off the demand zone. That looks to me like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It looks very, very nice. Looks very nice on the monthly time frame. You got this neckline right here. We're at the neckline, and from the head to the neckline here is a 100% measured move, guys. All right, this is telling you a break of this trend line or a break of this neckline is 100%. That means the stock goes to 22 or 23 bucks. Yes, Plug is very similar to Fuel Cell. They're in the same sector of the market. But I think we can look at Plug. I think I already charted it. Yeah, very, very similar type of scenario here on Plug. Bottom of a long-term channel up. But it's not as bad. It's not as good of a. I still think it's not as good of a structure as Fuel Cell with the major double bottom. Yeah, you have this price action here, and you're coming into the floor here. I mean, it's very similar on the chart, but this is probably going to do well as well. You're getting a monthly buy signal. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this chart doesn't look good. It does. There you go. Yeah, nice. Yeah, looks good. This stock, I don't know what this asset is or what it does. SPCB, man. I mean, look at the monthly on this thing. Jesus, dude. I mean, I feel like we kind of missed this entry, but I think that this is just actually just starting its major move with that break on Friday. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing on this chart until $31. Like, look at all this chop back here. You got basically this. So $30. Look at that volume. That's the highest volume this asset's ever seen. No idea what this thing does. Doesn't matter. Price action matters. Monthly time frame. Major squeeze on the monthly time frame. Huge setup there. That's a huge setup. Okay. Yeah, Octo was another one that I was looking at. Kind of got rejected here on this attempted breakout. I kind of want to see what this does this week. If this base is out down here, I might take an entry on it. It actually looks like, yeah. So if this comes down to gap fill like 150s, 160s, and you can kind of see volume start to come back into this thing, it's probably not going to be a bad trade. Because zoom out, like look at the 2-week time frame, look at the monthly time frame. It's very wrecked. Again, I don't know what this company does. I'm probably not going to take a lot of risk on something like this, but it's definitely a very low risk area to take some risk. Okay. It does look like a bit of a wedge on the monthly time frame. So yeah, there's a couple assets for you. NLSP was another one that I was looking at. I don't know. I don't know if this is the floor for this thing, but the weekly is telling you some things. So, yep. I mean, again, no real clear structure on this thing, just spin in a downtrend. So Ocugen actually was looking interesting here. OCGN. Now, this is a much bigger market cap. This is a pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical. We had this wedge break, boom, huge breakout to $2 from that 20-30 cent region. Nice pullback, right? Very nice pullback here, to a major level. All right. And, your weekly tick back up here, very nice. Your 2-week time frame also telling you that this is probably not a bad zone, okay, for a momentum shift on the chart. And we could end up seeing this leg up to $6 to $11 here in the next 6 months. Okay. So I think that this might be a good area to take some risk and, strategize a stop loss below the 65 cent region. Okay. Looks like maybe another wedge forming there, right? You guys see what I'm seeing? Looks decent. Okay. NVTS, yeah, we can look at it. Interesting. I'll add this one to my watch list. Yeah, that monthly looks good, man. Nice squeeze. Potential wedge setup. Yeah. I see it. Yeah, good. Hopefully you break that trend line, man, and then you can just really run. I'm still long FFIE, man. Just FYI, guys. I know that this thing pulled back, but I don't think that this thing is done running at all. Not at all. Quarterly buy signal. Yeah, just saying. This is definitely not done running. I'm holding my shares. I sold my options, okay, because they expire this month, but 6x, 7x on the options. Beautiful, beautiful wedge break, man. Just with the volume confirming it. And I got nothing else to say on this, man. This is probably going to run to the areas I have circled up here. You know, I think $9 to $16 in the coming weeks, maybe months. Weekly just confirming buy signal. 2 week down here, just ticking up, dude. Like, Jesus, man, this is going to be a major, major move. Even if we end up pulling back first or something to like $2 or whatever it might do, doesn't matter. I think this is this setup on this chart is just textbook, like very, very textbook. Volume dropped off here. You can see that. Price is still just kind of floating around here. It's very possible that we go fill gaps, but I'm not sure about that. And the reason why I say I'm not sure about that is because breakaway gap ups are some of the best performing wedge patterns that exist, okay, according to Bulkowski, right? Breakaway gap up on this wedge. This was a 90x trade, man. 90x. Are you guys listening? This was 90x. From $1.70 to $150. I mean, dude, 5 days of price action is what that was. 5 days of price action to 100x your money. That's crazy. So what? This movement here after a full reset like that isn't going to do something similar? I think differently. Yeah, I mean, it's been 5 days and it didn't do 100x. Okay, fine. But I mean, I'm thinking the daily 200-day moving average is sitting around $9. I think it's probably going to go test that. How soon, how quick, I don't know. Maybe by the end of this week, maybe next week, 2 weeks. But the momentum is coming into the asset. Clearly, the momentum is coming into the asset with the weekly confirming a buy signal. All right. Very nice. Very nice. And we're just starting to now break the weekly squeeze. Yeah, what a trade setup, man. Like, does it get better than that? I don't think so. I think that's about as good as it gets. Oh, yeah. And so Rivian made a move, right, on Friday? Yeah, man. 25%, dudes. Where's the like and subscribe, man? Come on. Who else is doing this stuff? I mean, there's plenty of people that do this stuff, but who gives it away for free? Not a lot of people do that, man. Not a lot of people sit here on YouTube for an hour every Sunday and just give you guys free alpha on stocks or cryptos or really the market. I'm not going to nail it every single time, but I'm gonna do my best to get it right a lot of the time because, well, I'm doing this full time right now, so it's in my best interest to do that. And yeah, this Rivian move just started, by the way. This is just starting to go. Monthly is just wrecked on the RSI. Monthly squeeze, right? Beautiful. Very nice. Let's see. Is NVAX setting up again? Is it vaccine season yet? No, not yet. Soon. How's the 2-day and the 3-day looking? Looks like it's trying to find a floor here on the 2-day RSI. Daily ticked up. So this actually looks like a double bottom on the daily time frame, actually. So NVAX, you could strategize the trade setup here with this double bottom. Up to like 1050s. If you break that, $17. It's clearly in a flag after a wedge break. One could consider this a cup and handle type of structure, right? Cup in the flag is your handle, and you could see that tick up. A quademic, huh? All right, man. So NVAX, dude. Vaccine stocks, Moderna. We talked about Moderna. We gave a trade setup on it, right? Down here, man, right? We said Moderna at $36. So I don't know if Moderna is involved in that, but you can clearly see that this thing looks pretty juiced bottom down here. The 2-week RSI was wrecked. I remember giving the trade. It hasn't really produced anything just yet. But that weekly bullish divergence is now there. So I think Moderna is going to start candling here soon. It did actually bullishly engulf on Friday. The bottom looks like it's put in. Okay, that looks like a potential bottom there on Moderna. All right, this asset doesn't really trade very quickly. It's a $16 billion asset. All right, it's like a big layer one, But yeah, I think this is a big flag pattern. Probably trade up to 70, pull back somewhere, maybe make a higher low again, and then try to break and change its trend if we really go into some sort of, vaccine season or whatever this thing's going to do. I think long term, its target is back up to $500, man. So something's going down with this. Scary, but yeah. SLI, this stock, still looking good, putting a nice candle in here on the weekly time frame. I think we gave some entries back here after this pullback. This is an energy stock. Just rinse and repeat the pattern, man. Just rinse and repeat the pattern, the bull flag. Okay. Eventually that breaks out. I think maybe on this next push it goes. This one down here, micro algo. This is another one of these wedges that broke out the other day with huge volume. But yeah, quick rejection though. So I'm just monitoring this one. That was a pretty gnarly rejection, but that was a big move. $1 to $7.50 in like 3 days. Yeah, of course they're going to take profit there. Why not? GFAI finally putting in a candle, man. Finally. We've been talking about this stock for a long time. It finally broke out. That is a confirmed weekly breakout for GFAI. The monthly here also giving you that inclination for higher prices. Big upside coming for this one. This is an AI stock. A lot of these AI stocks are going to do well. AISP, this one, Airship AI Holdings, massive wedge break. I think we called this one out a while ago, actually. This one performing extremely well right now. Beautiful wedge break there. Arket, I gave a trade setup on this. I think it was like down here at $12 when it started breaking above this level. Falling wedge. Big move. BVAI, this thing's on fire. Huge accumulation structure. Yep. Look at all that volume, man. I gave an entry down here right off that. I remember that. Giving the entry at the bottom of the range on the monthly, it made a pin bar. I remember pointing it out, this pin bar right here, this hammer. This is when I gave this trade setup. After this monthly closed, 140 something was the entry. That's gone, dude. It's gone. Broke the trading range on the monthly time frame. Beautiful chart. Look at the volume, guys. Okay, beautiful chart. Another one I'm looking at is PRTS. Okay, this stock doesn't really do a lot of trading volume right now, but I like it when I like it that it's back above this level, okay, because range deviation, and you can clearly see this is a very, very strong regarded level. But if you're reclaiming it, I think you're going to be able to trade this back up to like $4 because, straight down, straight up price action. The chart is very, very clear what this is going to do. The monthly giving you the buy signal, monthly MACD cross up for the very first time in, I don't know, 4 years, man, 5 years on this stock. So something brewing there with that. I don't really know. I mean, yeah, car parts, retail sector. Maybe tread lightly with this one on the risk, but I think it's very low risk down here to take a trade. Now this stock is crazy, man. I don't know what the hell this thing is or what it does. It's a telecommunications type of asset, but man, I mean, this looks set up for a lot higher prices. Huge breakout back here in April. Just went on a monster run from $1 to $40 and pulled back here to $24. This looking great. Yeah, Space. Yeah, Space Mobile. Yeah, Space Mobile. This actually looks really nicely set up here. A nice wedge structure or flag structure. Looks really nice up here. Very, very nice up here, man. Look at the daily, man. That looks great. Reset and everything. That looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal for higher prices. Look at NVIDIA, sure. NVIDIA reclaiming its range, man. Very nice. So, we dipped to this 130 level. I think it very much so looks set up for higher prices. Daily time frame, ticked up here. 2-day time frame, giving you the buy signal with a nice squeeze brewing here. Looks good. Looks like you're about to get a MACD cross up. Let's go to the weekly time frame on this, though. Okay, nice. So weekly is almost fully reset. I think once you actually get this cross, you're going to see multiple weeks of upside on NVIDIA. So it looks like it's setting up for another leg higher, which I have plotted to about $283. I think that's going to be a major target for NVIDIA. This could take some time, obviously. There's a $3.5 trillion asset for it to double. That would make it like almost $7 trillion. So I think that's going to take some time to make that move. But it looks good, man. It looks good. The weekly looks good. The monthly just holding in the control zone up here. You can see we just ticked back up into parabolic type of movement on price. Nice. Your RSI is just very extended. Doesn't really matter, I guess. These assets can stay overbought for quite some time. Strat, yeah. Nice. Let's take a look at Strat. Beautiful, yeah. So you're finally breaking this consolidation structure you've been in. It looks like an inverse head and shoulders bottom here, like this type of structure. You got your neckline right here at around this 9 cent region, and from the bottom to the neckline is about 173% measured move from the break. Okay, so you break this neckline, 173% takes you to about 25 cents. But you got this wick up here. Okay, I think you're not going to do the full measured move right away. You usually do about half the movement on a breakout like that. Probably go fill this wick up here. Okay, at 20 cents. So 13. I would say on a break like 14 to 20 cent region is likely with momentum swinging up like that. And that's the weekly time frame. Let's take a look at your 3-day. Yeah, 3-day looking nice. Your stochastics are pointing up. Okay. Looks good. That looks really good. You're breaking a trading range right here. You haven't done that. You haven't been above these levels since May 2020, 2024. All right. So yeah, very nice structure. Nice. What else, guys? We covered a lot here tonight. Any other like low cap stocks you guys want to look at? I'm kind of really looking for some more low caps. I think low cap stocks are really going to go. Amazon and Apple. We can take a look at them. So Amazon daily resetting up here. Weekly time frame. You're just in the very overextended region. I mean, you could stay over there as long as it doesn't continue down. The 2-week time frame is still looking good. Momentum still ticked up. 3-week time frame also ticked up. Monthly time frame also ticked up in that parabolic type of movement phase of the market. Okay. So monthly time frame still looking good for Amazon. Put in a nice candle on Friday, 2%. It's a good candle for Amazon there. Yeah, I mean, you could continue to go sideways or consolidate here for a bit. You're holding your range low, so you're very clear ranges here. 230 region, 220 to 230 region right now. Looks like you're holding this range. 232 is the break level for Amazon, so look for that. Why Apple dump? I don't know. Let's take a look at it. It just looks like it got very, very extended up there, man. Like no real pullbacks, just straight up price action. You probably hit like a major Fibonacci level up there too. I haven't even really had it plotted, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at why she did that. I mean, dude, Apple is just yeah, just a straight line up, man. Apple. I don't even know where I would be plotting fibs from for this. This is just when Apple collapses, it's all over, man. That's all I have to say. This chart is nuts. Let's see what kind of major fibs we hit. All right, so no real major fibs there from the all-time low from 1982 to the swing high from the 2000 bubble. You definitely have like a top type of trend line there. Okay. It's just grinding up, man, on the monthly here. So you probably just tag that trend line and pulled back, right? Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't really be too concerned about it just yet. It does look, you do have like weekly bearish divergence on the MACD histogram, but it's Apple, man. You're in such a major uptrend. Like this divergence probably underperforms. And yeah, I mean, you could see this come back to retest 236. If you haven't already, you pretty much got there, I think. Maybe one more. You might get an oversold bounce here on Monday or something to 246s or whatever. Come and make a lower high somewhere. You might even, power through that and then just roll back over to retest, 237, something like that. And then find a floor over there. Somewhere base out down here and then try to retest that high. So it could do something like that. Reason being is your 4 hour is very oversold. So I'm expecting Apple to push intraday tomorrow. We'll see how high they can take this thing back up, but you got that level there at 246.50 to test. Cool. All right, I've been live for an hour. You guys have any other assets you guys want me to look at? The miners all look like they hit some sort of bottoms here. Nice retest here for a lot of these Bitcoin mining stocks. Coinbase, take a look at that real quick. Nice retest off that break. Yep, daily reset. That should bring some buying pressure back into the asset. Bitcoin just consolidating right now. Solana just consolidating right now. Pulse chain stuff. Let's take a look at that real quick. Wrap Bitcoin in a bit of a squeeze on the daily, but I have a feeling this is going to continue down here for a bit. So we're in this like channel. You don't want to really be buying channels until they break out. There's a lot of wicks down here, man. I gotta say, there's a lot of people buying these lows. But yeah, this daily print here, not so good. Weekly coming in with another red, probably candle. But you can see the wicks on the bottom side here. So there's definitely some buyers stepping in to hold this price up. The 3-day momentum is back in the buy zone. So that's probably why they are bidding this asset on a 3-day time frame. Let's see. The daily is in a squeeze. That is for sure. Question is it going to squeeze to the downside? And I think it very well might continue down for a bit. Yeah. So there's your wrap Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. $800. Been a nice pullback on this asset. It's pulled back a total of 84%. Very nice drawdown. The teddy bears of this world. Let's take a look at that real quick. Same type of thing on this. It's just getting rejected here off this trend line. My concern really is this monthly candle, this doji. Not a good monthly candle close there for teddy bear, the major meme coin on Pulse Chain. Yeah, looks like you're gonna probably head back down to your breakout level. You might even go test these candle bodies around this region here. And you'd still be holding that major monthly bullish engulfing candle. So not really that terrible to see something like that if that happens. Hard to know if there's really going to be follow through on that, but it looks like there's going to be follow through on that. Especially with the price action we've been seeing. That's really it for the major Pulse Chain assets there that I've been following. Really wondering if Sui is going to continue here, man. Like, it just looks very toppy. Very toppy. I think below this 520 region, it's a short. That's what I think. Hey, they retested the top and rejected it. There you go. The double top on Sui. And your neckline here at 513. Yeah, I think this thing is going to come way down. All right, looks like lots of people left the stream. Anyways, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.